I'm going to announce some lovely friends of mine. First, we have Nick Fink. We have Quincy Fouse. And Elijah Be More. Not be less, but be more, everybody. Come on in, buddy. And then Jedidiah is going to join us very shortly. If you know Jedidiah, who knows what he's doing? He could be anywhere.
He's an enigma. What a mysterious, sexy man. Absolutely.
Quincy, it's so good to have you with these men. I feel like we don't hang out enough.
We don't. We should hang out more.
We kind of have like an unspoken love affair on Legacies. Like it wasn't really talked about, but it was there, you know?
Yeah.
The fanfics were written.
They were, right? Yeah. And Jethan.
Wait, and Jethan? Was that it? What did just Jethan? Do y'all who else watched Legacies here?
No one raises their hand.
Some of you guys
That's a solid amount of people for sure. How many people started with the Vampire Diaries? Okay.
It wasn't more than Legacies, though.
Yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. Let's not make a bunch of obscure references and then, you know what I mean?
I love it. Well, guys, here we are. It's a lot warmer than it was yesterday, and I appreciate that.
Still cold.
So I have, it's a bit of an abstract question, but interpret it how you will. And it was inspired by Quincy being on the panel, so I think he'll appreciate this. And it's a very simple question. What makes you proud? That's the question.
I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but I feel proud when I'm tired at the end of the day.
Wasn't going there, but okay, cool.
I feel proud when it's like I did stuff today.
Yeah,
you know, you can reach the end of the day. Oh gosh, what is this?
Oh, everyone, here he is, Jedidiah Goodacre. Come on up, buddy.
I feel
We couldn't stop.
oh my gosh.
No, thank you.
You can keep it.
No, so you're saying just a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day.
Knowing that I worked today, I did stuff today. Yeah,
I got it. Quincy?
That's real. What makes me proud? I mean, there's the obvious things. I have a 3-year-old son, and anytime he does anything, could walk and trip and fall, and I'm like, yeah, you did that. Yes. And then he gets up there and goes, I'm okay. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking okay. Other than that, I am proud of. Here lately, I've been through like a lot of transition, and I'm really proud of like the caliber of friends that have like made it through that. That's something like very like, oh man, like I don't know, not in a braggadocious way, but like.
Thank you to that one person over there. You get it. There she is.
You relate. That's what you're doing, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's you.
Nice. Nick, you got something?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, truthfully, you know, I feel like it comes few and far between sometimes. It's not, maybe my definition of pride is like too strong, and this actually I know this to be true. I'm just, I'm hard on myself, so it's hard to, I think, find those feelings sometimes. But, like a solid day's work, like Elijah's just talking about, I mean, showing up for something, it's sometimes it's just a struggle for me. But I think anytime, I follow through on something like that, the music stuff I did, even last night, like it feels, I'm proud that I was able to do that and, follow through on something that I set out to do. And then making suits right now, like most recently, I made a really cool women's suit for this lady, and after she left, like it fits so damn well. And then after she left, I was like in the room alone, and I was like, yes,
Yeah, that's right.
I was so fucking amped.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
So that, that I gave myself that win. But yeah, sometimes you just, it's like you get in your own way of just enjoying a win, and you're like, nah, you could, in another world, this is just a loss somehow. It's like, no, it's not at all.
Yeah. It's easy to second guess those things, but I think it's important that we give ourselves credit for those little victories, because it doesn't have to be much. Just that little warm feeling in your belly, and you're like, I did something. I like that. The question was, what are you proud of?
Fitting. Inside joke. You know what? I'm going to keep with the theme here. I am proud of, and I'm Canadian, porn kind of thing. It's like it's
Classic Canadian.
It's just an unsaid thing that you don't do that in Canada. So it's like this is a difficult question, but whatever. Putting the Canadianism aside, I would say my ability to bounce back.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Amen to that.
Again, because you get knocked down so much, and in our industry as well, you get
Yes.
rejection all the time, and real life too. And
No.
but it's okay. I try.
It's a cool, hard world.
The ability to bounce back after being knocked down.
Nice, man.
What makes you proud?
What makes me proud?
I really want you, this was all a trick question. You're like, actually, pride is a sin, and you all should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm really proud to be with my wife. She's a really amazing person. Thank you, and I feel extremely lucky to be with her. She's amazing. So I feel very proud to be in a very healthy relationship, and one that we're radically honest with each other. It's really hard and it gets messy sometimes, but it's very real and authentic, and I really appreciate it because it's a lot of work. So thanks for asking that. All these people that are critiquing my question, like, this is a hard question. This is hard. Usually it's like, I really like your terror. Much better questions than that. Yeah. Well, this leads me to my next one, right? Like, kind of what you were touching on, Jedi, but we talked about the industry is brutal, right? Like, obviously, we're all here for this show, but what you guys haven't seen is the 500 no's we've all received, and like genuinely putting our heart and soul into something, and you don't get it, right? Which sounds easy on the outside, but it feels like a deep personal rejection. It feels like they're saying you're not good enough, because they are saying you're not good enough for this. So, what do you guys? How have you changed since like early on in your career to now? How has that aspect changed in terms of like, how do you deal with the rejection now? Is it easier? What do you do? How do you deal with it, and how have you changed since the beginning where it made effect? At least for me, it really affected me in the beginning.
What did you just say there about the no's? Like, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So that's like, when I was starting out, it was, if I got a no, I'm not good enough for the part. Somebody else is better. But just framing it as like, I'm not the right fit for this part. And it's, because that doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means this is not a part for me. Somebody else is, this is their part. And so reframing it like that, it was massive for me. And and forgetting about it as soon as it's over. That's the other thing.
That's
great. Yeah.
I had very much that realization that not every role is meant for me. When years back I auditioned for a small bit role on House of Cards, and I learned by that point, because I would obsess over auditions. I think all of us do at first. You do an audition, you're thinking about it for weeks, months, waiting to hear back, and you gotta just forget about it, let it go. And then if later on you hear, hey, you booked this role, it's like, oh, I forgot about that. And so I had auditioned for it, totally forgot about this role in House of Cards, and then I'm watching House of Cards, and I hear dialogue that rings a bell, and I'm like, oh, I auditioned for this role, and the role went to a middle-aged woman, and I was like, gotcha, very different direction. I'm not good enough. I have range.
Have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Come on, put me in a wig.
Yeah. That's a really important thing as an actor, just what you said, reframing it to everyone's got their own version of a character, and we are all unique, and it's not you're not good enough, it's just maybe I wasn't right for that thing. It's hard to get in your bones though, I think. Do you have any experience with that, Quincy?
Nah, I've looked at everything that I've ever done. I can't relate.
We'll be right back, folks. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
No. I think my reframe is definitely the same as what we've been talking about. I think also what I acknowledge is, I don't know, like I got into acting when I was 17, and so I have a bunch of friends who've been acting ever since they were, 7, you know what I'm saying? So I think getting in later, so
You didn't have to work for shit.
so I feel like just because I've lived, life outside of the industry, one thing that I know about getting an audition is how excited I get. And I really like that magic. And my whole life, I've found that magic in other things. And so I kind of like to just put my perspective in like, where's my authenticity at? Where's my genuine excitement and curiosity at right now? And in that moment doing the audition, it's right there. And I've always known that like, my best performance is going to come out of my authentic spark. And after the audition is done, I send it off, and then I go, where's my next spark? Playing with my cousins, or making this song with my friends, or, you know what I mean? So I like to orient myself to where my authentic excitement, wonder, where's life at? Where's life in this next moment at for me? And then I get the call, and then it's like, you booked it. And I'm like, booked with what? I just did 6 auditions this week. Like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, yeah, you booked one of those. So I'm like, okay, So, yeah.
I hear you. There's also a thing about, like, instead of going into something thinking, like, playing a role, like, I hope they, the proverbial they, the producers, the network, because there's a lot of people involved, right? We had CW, we had Julie Black's team, we had all these people that are watching this product, watching my version of this character. In my head, it's so easy to slip down the rabbit hole of, I want to make sure they like it. Instead of the mentality, which I think is much more effective for what we do, which is like, no, I'm just here to give a little gift. This is my take on it. Here you go. And if you got notes, great. We'll work together. But like, I'm not desperate. I'm not doing it for a result. I'm just kind of giving this thing. So I hear that on all what you guys are talking about. Anyway, I've been rambling enough. So if you guys have some questions, please line up in the middle and give us a wow. They were ready. They're like, hit this guy. Shut up. Get the cow. Oh, you're leaving? Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's cool. I got some good one. Have a good one.
They had to go.
I'm busy. Love you too, sweetheart. Here.
I'll miss you.
Bye. Anyway, they sucked, didn't they? Get out of here.
That's just me, though. That's just me.
Hi there. What is your name?
Hi, Guju. This is Lily. I was just wondering, like, what was your favorite scene shooting out of like any of the movies and any of the TV shows that you guys ever been in? Like, what was your favorite thing to shoot?
I like that question. That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know.
I definitely have something that comes to mind. I shot this cool indie called The Great and the Small, and I was working with the great Ann Dowd, who has just an incredible history of work at this point. And we were shooting, she was playing a detective. I was like this homeless kind of vagrant guy who got involved with a bad crowd and had stolen some things from some people. It wasn't really my idea. I also was like an artist, and I dropped my art book and at some point she had collected it and was like trying to find me because she had a really big soft spot in her heart for me. And anyways, and I'm sitting in her car, and like this detective car is like old school, like 1970s car. She's like a very characterized detective, and we're in Alabama, and there's like a light drizzle, and there's just like water on the windshield, and I remember truly having such an authentic experience with her, and us both acknowledging it after the fact, and I was just so charmed by her and the interactions we had, and that like truly is one of my one of the acting moments I hold closest. Because a lot of them, sometimes I don't hold them that close. Like, I'm like, what even was that, man? Like, it's just like truly, what are we doing here? But yeah, so I always, remember that stuff very, very fondly. And I'm very thankful that I have a memory like that,
Nice. Anybody else?
My first ever, big job was working for like a week on a movie called Fist Fight that had Ice Cube and Charlie Day in it. And Charlie Day is
absolutely
one of the funniest people ever, and so I really looked up to him. And seeing them both work, and they had the script and the way the scene was supposed to go, but both improvised most of it, and it just felt so natural and fluid. And I'm getting to sit there and witness it and watch them do that. And then at the end of the scene, I get to see Ice Cube take a fireman's axe to a school desk, and that was just kind of rad to witness as well.
But no, you needed to see it till you saw it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was
How
here.
does anyone else live without seeing this? But yeah, getting to work with them, and at one point in between scenes, Charlie Day spoke to me, gave me a compliment, and said, I had great comedic timing and a lot of potential, and I was going to work a lot. And him saying that to me, I was like, this is the greatest day ever.
Nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
My favorite moment was on Woman of the Hour. We
It's out now, guys. Go check it out.
Now.
Check it out.
Netflix.
But there was a moment. It was like the whole thing was kind of shot as like one long scene, the game show, and there was like just like 30 minutes before we went to go do our first day of the 6 days that we shot that scene. There was myself, Anna Kendrick, Tony Hale, and then the three Bashams. We were in this back room. We were all in our get-up, and it was like the 70s, but it was like it was part of the set. So the room we were in was also kind of the 70s. And I remember looking around the room and just being like, this is the best thing I've ever been part of in my life. And I was like, I was this close to crying, and I was like, they're all like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, that's the best moment for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like my best scene. I see like this through line of like we were just blessed to be around some good acting. You know what I'm saying? Like we were able to perceive like just some dope work. And my scene was actually only shot for overlap. So basically like when a scene starts, usually the first like shot you'll see is like the setting, and then the shot will cut into the main characters as the scene will unfold. And so they just needed some audio of a dinner scene that I was doing to overlap outside. And this was the movie was Logan, and James Mangold, he directed it, and I believe he wrote it with Hugh Jackman. And that movie was such a passion project for them that like, I don't know, I felt like, you ever visited like a good friend for dinner on a holiday? Like it really just felt like that. But then like all of these like dope, renowned actors are around me, and we're just improvising a dinner scene. And so there's this scene that wasn't scripted. They actually, so they were doing that for overlap, but then some of it started getting good, so they included some of it in the movie. But there's this moment where, Hugh starts asking like my character about school, and my character's like, oh, I don't like school. And then they start talking about what's it called? Professor at X's school for gifted children, whatever. And but they're like, it's funny because we're knowing it's an insider. They're talking about the mutant school. Meanwhile, our characters are just like, oh, you run a school, and then he was like, it's for special kids, and we're like, But no, just being able to improv with those guys definitely set a standard for my work, even before I had a lot of technique. And so like, as I learned from all of my scene partners going forward, I just kind of had this somatic feeling of what good work felt like. You know what I mean? So it was definitely just a dope gift to just go into the rest of my career.
Nice. I feel like I really showed you good work too. Like when we were in scenes together.
I mean,
was just,
no
like,
cap.
he's talking about like inspiring actors, and he told me, and he wouldn't tell you this, but I was the most inspiring actor that he has worked with.
The most?
Anyway, next question. Thank you so much. Appreciate
I
it.
think I was most inspired when you were invisible.
For sure.
I really set myself up for that one. Hi there. What's your name?
I'm Mariah.
Mariah. Oriah. Nice to meet you, Oriah.
My question is, was there anybody behind the scenes, like a hair and makeup person, stunt double, that really had an impact on you?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of people.
For me, it was Scott.
I keep forgetting we work with the same people. Yes.
Who's Scott here?
Scott. Oh, Scott. Scott.
Scott, yeah.
Scott, he was here, and man, he was, when I first came on to the originals, I felt like out of place. You know, I'm not good at making friends. But he was like, he noticed that, took me under his wing, and he was like, man, so Scott was the guy. Good question, because the crew is so essential.
The crew was so great.
Stu was awesome.
Stu? Yes.
Camera operator Stu.
Yeah.
You know, there's the camera operators. You don't think about them, you're watching the camera, right? But there's a dude or a woman behind the camera, and like they are the closest person to us at all times.
Yeah.
Like, you know, every moment from the show, that person is right there. And you build a relationship with this person because, you know, hey man, if I step over here, you can be able to see me. He's like, yeah, maybe. It becomes like a little bit of a collaboration between us two, and there is a bond there because it's intimate. Sometimes you're having like an emotional experience, and here he is. There's Stu just behind the camera. So for me, it was Stu for sure.
Danielle has a funny story of when Landon died. One of those times. I think it was when it was out in the fields. They were alone. I think he turned into mud. I can't remember. Where he was beheaded. He died a lot. And she said Hope had to like kneel down and cry and sob at Landon's dead body. And she said the mark, because the camera had to be low and right on her, so the mark was on Stuart's leg. And so she had to look at Stuart's leg and sob as if it's Landon right there. I think for me, costumes, I was really close with. Ann Chapman was the costume director for the first season and a half before COVID, and then after that, Jen Nichols. And loved working with them. And I have a fairy ring that Jen got me as a wrap gift after we finished the show, and I wear it every day. I think it's awesome. So yeah, the costume folks were so good.
Nice.
I probably have to say, I mean, so many of them, dude. You remember Rob Transpo?
Yeah.
Rob, like, came to my house and like, like when you
Invited?
Yeah. And I was like, Rob, what are you doing? But yeah, I locked my keys out of my, or in my car once, and Rob like came over.
He's the largest man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's like 6'6".
And he's like very benevolent, like guy, you know what I mean? No, he's cool. So I love Rob. I love the stunt team, like Dave, Dave, Jeremy, those guys are dope. I don't know, it's just kind of cool, especially when the crew and stuff like live in the area, because they just kind of like can kind of just usher some relationship to where you're at, especially like I moved from LA to Georgia to shoot the show and stuff. So yeah, no, appreciate all those guys.
You know, like it's kind of weird when you, I think like Jedidiah was saying, like, you know, when you show up to the show at first and you're not like a regular or something, it can be a bit awkward to start building relationships with these cast members because I don't know how long I'm going to be around. I don't know how tight-knit they all are. It's hard to like step into it. So I think it actually is at the beginning almost easier to start forming relationships with these, like, you know, the crew members around me and stuff. But I remember you know, early on I had to do a face mold for some, like when I was growing up, like my face started to fall off, things like that. But then especially when my head got cut off, we had like a full head cast, and so I got really close with like the Creatures team, Mark and Heather. But yeah, I mean, they're like, you know, they're pretty much, you know, submerging my head in, you know, cement for, you know, multiple times. Like you know, there's a level of trust there that needs to be happening for me to go through with that process. But so yeah, I think for me the Creatures team, and yeah, it's you end up kind of tighter with them. Like obviously I'm much closer with these guys now, but it's really because of the cons. Like at the time, like hi Leo, is it? You know, like nice guitar, man.
He's a quiet dude.
Yeah. So yeah, good question. Yeah,
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, hi there. That was a splendid. Jeez. Hi.
My question is, did any of you originally audition for like a different role?
Yes. I'm sure all of us did. Did everyone? You didn't. You shut up. Shut up. I'm just like, yeah, audition for Roman. I was a big old crying scene.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was a tough scene. It was a tough scene.
To put that in, I guess they needed to put that in for the audition to be like, can you do it?
Yeah, so to put it, so you guys know what we're talking about, like the audition process, you just go into a room, they send you the script, like the scene they want you to do. You have no context, right? They're not gonna send you the whole script so you understand really what's going on, you just see the scene. I auditioned for Roman, for Jedi's character. The scene was like, enter, a set, Roman has just lost his sister, go. Or was it weird, like,
he's lost his sister.
lost his sister, and he's like screaming.
Yeah, that was fun.
I auditioned for Roman, I auditioned for Landon, Raphael.
Oh, word. So you just
They were like, can we just tell me where this guy's gonna go? Yeah, and then Ethan was the one.
Yeah, I auditioned for Landon. You know,
And it's so wild to think of how things would have been different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, had you been Roman, had you gotten landed, like, Arya is...
Roman probably would have been better, I think. No. Terrible. Absolutely joking.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately tested for Landon 3 times.
Really? Tested is when you go in like you're like last one down to the wire and you come in and read with opposite people or you just read by yourself. It's like
I mean, typically would only take 1 time. I don't know. It was so, but I mean,
Arya was there?
No, Arya was not there.
Oh, interesting.
That's why they were having the audition. They hadn't found him yet. You know, it's like I think they, he was like, they were just on the hunt. They found him like very close to. It was like I was testing on a Thursday, and it's like I would be moving to Atlanta on Monday.
Wow. That's the crazy thing about this industry is like it's like dangling a carrot. Every day is like putting a penny in a slot machine, and like as an actor, it could hit. You could be working on the biggest show of your life, making tons of money, or you're just unemployed.
Yeah.
Every day, it's like that. So.
Yeah, but also, I mean, to their credit, like they obviously liked all of us. Like we auditioned for multiple things, but they were really good about if they did like you. And then they called me, a couple months later. They're like, "Hey, we have a role for you."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
I
incredible.
think that was Julie specifically. Julie was great about like having a vision with people and going like, "Ooh, I like you. Don't know where you belong yet, but I'm gonna find a place." And she would. She really did. So, thank you. That's a great question.
I auditioned for Hope. Gonna get it. We would have been great.
probably would have stayed on there.
We'd still be on the show. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Rosie. Nice to meet you guys.
Rosie.
Hi.
My question is, did you take anything from set or wish you did?
Like objects? Or like trauma? I got. I mean objects? Did we like steal? You're asking us if we stole anything from the set?
No, sorry.
Borrowed and just never gave it back?
This question is awfully federal.
Have you stolen things? Socks. Yeah. You know what's funny? Last panel, this question
bought
got
socks
asked.
in years, guys. So many socks.
Michael Parker also took socks. Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
No, I wanted to, and I looked up and found out that I believe Chris and someone else took all of MG's shoes. And
How does that happen?
well, because I didn't get them first, apparently. So
Didn't even know it was an option.
I didn't know it was an option, and I should have kept my daylight ring too, because they molded them to. They got sizes. Like you're not giving that to anybody else. It's like my soul essence is on that ring. What you doing with it? Like, I don't know. I'm hurt. Now I'm in a bad mood. Nice question. Thank you.
I have a Salvatore plaque in my garage.
No kidding.
Yeah. I don't actually know how I got it. And then I also, do you remember the mask that Ethan wore that he like burned off and he like saved my life and the thing? I have that mask.
Oh, that's.
My wife the other day like picked it up and she was like, so you know how every relationship there's one like pack rat, one person who throws everything away?
Yeah.
I'm the pack rat, she throws everything away. And she's like, do you need this? I was like, what? Yeah, like that's, and she's like, what are you gonna do with it? I'm like, it's cool. And she's like, I don't think it is. It should go in the trash. I was like, no! Put it down, I'll put it in the garage. So yeah, anyway.
I got I think 4 pairs of Wade's shoes, which these being one of them, which is great because I wear either Chacos or Converses, and Wade wore Converses every episode. And they were like, hey, would you wear these? I'm like, every day.
Just doing an extra close-up of your shoes. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. It was just also like the slow zoom as the talk. He didn't stop either. He just kept going and kept going. Man, what kind of lens do you have on? That's a nice zoom lens. Awesome. Thank you. Hi.
Hey.
What's your name?
Katie.
Katie.
The question is, what does your day-to-day look like? Like your routine? Is it more personal, professional?
Wake up, cry, a little bit, coffee, a little more cry. Yeah, what's your guys' day-to-day life
all
like?
cry
nowadays?
together.
Yeah.
Get mad, hang up, cry some more alone.
Yeah, what's a day in the life for each of you these days?
So, for me, but out of nowhere, like, I was definitely one of those people who, like, woke up, like, I don't know, like 10, 9, you know what I mean? But out of nowhere, I just started waking up at 6 a.m.
It's called being a dad.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll be wearing New Balance.
Yeah. No, honestly,
Really?
can I be so real with you? I saw someone dancing in a pair of New Balances, and I was like, I need a pair.
It's the dad effect.
Yeah. But yeah, so I get up, and then I'll make breakfast, and then I'll like pack my kids, lunch up and stuff. Wake him up, we'll do our routine, getting him together. I'll take him to daycare, and then I'll work out, do some. It's weird because like as a creative, like I'm in the middle of like making a bunch of things, but I am currently unemployed. So I just like got a bunch of like house projects and stuff that I'm working on and stuff, and I'll do an audition, and go pick a kid up, and make dinner.
Nice.
Dad life. Yeah.
Elijah?
Mine is taking my dog out every 30 minutes to go potty all day.
Nice.
All day.
Dogs, just dogs, yeah, same thing. Just dogs.
I wake up and then I try to get out of bed for like an hour, right? And then I actually will. I have a very real job right now. So typical morning is processing. I make custom suits and have a team that makes custom suits. So I process orders in the morning. Typically, I'll maybe go to yoga, like the noon to 1, which is I consider a luxury because it's the middle of the day. And anyways. But then typically after that, I'll go into one of our stores. I'll like do training, make sure my guys actually know where people's shoulders end, things like that. Then hopefully feel good about myself. And some days I don't do any of that stuff, and I'm like, I legitimately should have. So it's important, But that's a struggle. So yeah. And then watch Survivor when it's on. Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
How have we not talked about Survivor?
Great episode was. There's a great episode was Wednesday.
Come on.
I get up.
All time.
I have a Breville One Touch coffee machine. It's the stuff. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're missing out. Listen, man, I'm excited about it. I don't require anyone else to be excited about it, but I'm excited about it. I just wanted to express that. I love my coffee machine. I make my wife a cup of coffee every morning. And I go to work. I work on Days of Our Lives. That's yeah, all right. 4 of you. So most days I'm working on that, and then when I'm not working on that, I go to jiu-jitsu and I own a home, so there's always stuff to do on the house constantly. So that's it.
And you told me like shooting Days of Our Lives versus shooting Legacies is entirely different experiences. Like
Pace-wise, yeah.
Yeah, Days feels more like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, it is. It's like in some ways it's a lot easier because it's the closest thing an actor can get to having a normal job. Like pretty much every day the latest we go is like 7 p.m., right? Some days I'm out way earlier, but the pace is much more. Like on a show like Legacies, we shoot probably at most 8 to 9 pages a day. That's a big day for us.
Like an episode in 2 weeks, maybe, right?
No, 8 shoot days an episode, so it'd be like a week and a half or something like that. Whereas on Days of Our Lives, we shoot 180 pages a day.
Insane.
That's a lot. So, 18 pages an hour, it's just constant. We just do one take and move, one take and move. So it's a very high pace.
Is it like multiple teams?
No, just one team, man.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, anyway, you didn't ask, but there you go. That was a great question. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi there. I love your sweater. Must I
I
say?
have it on a rack somewhere.
Yeah. This is Nick supporting too. That's cool.
It was like the discount rack, right?
Hi there. What's your name?
My name's Dee.
Hi Dee. What's your name?
So I used to work in film pre-strike, and strike happened. And I was wondering if there are any moments in your guys' careers where it's weather or something out of production control, like prevented things from going as planned, and it's stuck in your mind, like, oh, do you remember this one day everything went haywire?
Does COVID count? Although we were talking about this earlier, in March 2020, we were shooting the Lady of the Lake episode with the Green Knight. We were in that big field, and it was cold as hell, and it was wet, we were miserable, and then we couldn't finish that scene because we had to stop for COVID. Then 8 months later, we come back, start filming again. Start with that scene in that same field, and it's still cold, it's still wet, and that was even without coming back 8 months later. That was just, I remember that being long and miserable. How cold it was. It started snowing on us once in the you remember the clown episode? It was like me, you, Chris, we got like poisoned or something by like the evil clown running around, and
Such a strange job, isn't it?
and then it started snowing like mid-take, and we were like, I guess we're done.
Yeah, I remember like one of the football episodes, like people were just like passing out on set.
The first one?
Because
The first- yeah.
because I mean it was just Georgia hot.
I believe both times we did the football episodes, each year was the hottest day of the year. I'm almost certain. The first one definitely was. And then the second one, I'm like, guys, what are we doing? Let's just not do it in the summer. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, I was not there for the first one, but I was there for the second one. That was like, it was his first day and my second day on set. It was pretty cool. That was a brutal day.
Like, is this every day?
Yeah, it sucked.
I was the reason production shut down for 3 days once.
How so?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Right? Storm came through. I ran into a door and gave myself a concussion. And it was, well, come on, guys. The door was like one of those short doors. You could barely see it.
One of them short doors.
And I was like running, and they were like, hey, Joe, we need you on set. Turned around, booked it, and then just boom, down. And it was on descent and stayed to shut the whole thing down. Well, not shut it down. They were just like, okay, we have to,
Can't shoot that.
can't shoot that for the next 3 days. So yeah.
You know what? You just sparked a great memory, and you're gonna laugh because you were in the scene. I got a haircut in the morning on one day of shooting on Legacies, and she snipped my ear.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And it just started bleeding, and it just kept bleeding and bleeding. And like we tried to put new skin on it, and the new skin like filled with blood. And I remember like, who was it? It was like Jeff Hunt, who was like our producer director. He's sitting there with gauze. He's like, I gotta get this to stop bleeding so we can shoot. He's our director, like not equipped to be dealing with cuts at all whatsoever. And they had to push the scene because my ear would not stop bleeding. I just went home.
Sitting there walked into the scene and out of nowhere just like
It did. He tried to do it, and it would not stop. So yeah,
Write it into the scene.
that's a great question. Thank you so much.
MG slaps Ethan out of nowhere for no reason.
Plus his ear.
I know your name. You're Natasha.
Yes,
Hi,
I
Natasha.
am.
Unfortunately, this will be the last one that we have.
Okay.
So sorry.
It's okay. So I wrote my question down because I'm kind of jet lagged, so I might not explain it well. If you could live as any character in any TV show where the TV show's world is actually your reality, which show would you choose and which character would you be?
Oh, that's so great.
And it was your reality. That's
Like
the
you are
kicker
now
right there. You gotta be
living in
careful.
that show.
Gotta be careful.
Reality.
Boy.
Humans don't have a good time in most of those.
Well, it's more interesting to watch people struggle. Like it shows there's a lot of struggle. I don't like struggle. I want to be chill and have a great life.
Paw Patrol. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? No, this is so like gnarly. narcissistic, but like kicking it, man. Just a bunch of kids, like in a karate dojo, just like fighting goons. Like nothing's too scary. You know, can't hit to the face because it's Disney. You know, just chill. Like that right there.
That's real.
Anybody else?
Airbud.
Airbud.
Yeah.
Were you in it? Were you in Airbud? I can't remember. I was looking somebody up. Someone around here was in an Airbud. I think it was Alexander Ludwig who was supposed to be here. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah, they shot those in Vancouver, yeah.
Big Airbud fans out here.
Any diehard Airbud fans? Again, speaking of auditions, I auditioned for every one of those Airbud movies and didn't book a single one. Not one. I was not good enough for Airbud. Space Buddies, you remember Space Buddies? I kept thinking like, this is my jam. This is my thing right here. Air Buddies 7.
I mean, you say like the drama suspense is what makes TV shows interesting. It would be a terrible time, but I'd want to be Hurley on Lost because, and yes, this is the second time I'm mentioning Lost this weekend. Because if no one hated Hurley, he was everyone's just friend, and I love Lost. And I mean, even just shooting that show, they were like, oh man, we have to go to work to Tahiti or wherever for 6 months. Hard knock life.
It's awesome. Thank you for your question. Now, she's so cute behind, you're so cute. We're overtime, so let's just get this question out. Come on.
This is for Jedidiah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Did you like being a vampire or did you like being Tony in Descendants?
I'm so glad that we let you.
I'm so glad too. What's your name, first of all?
Kinsley.
Kinsley. You're adorable. Your boots are freaking adorable.
Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at those things.
Good question. Get a very slow zoom into the boots. Very slow question. Yeah, thank you.
Good question. Roman or Chad? That's what it comes down to. What do you guys think? Roman? Chad. And anyone who knows me. Come again?
I don't know what that's. It sounded angry though.
Something about Haley. Yes.
Yes.
Guys, so Chad.
I am going to go with Chad. Chad Charming. Because
What do you
know
think?
why?
Chad.
Yes, of course.
I
Because
never watched The Vampire Diaries.
Good.
Get out! Leave!
No, that's good. That's good.
well, spoiler alert. Yeah, Chad Charming for sure. I had so much fun with that one because also that happened, what, like we started on that one 10, 12 years ago, and I still to this day get lots of people coming up to me with awesome questions like that. So thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Kinsley.